since we got this church going. And one of the great things that he did for us, he sent us Tom. And he has a tremendous message. And we appreciate him so much. And I thought to myself, isn't it a shame that those messages have to stay within these walls? And they need to go out. They need to go out in the town and out to people that really need to hear them, as well as we do ourselves. And so that was my idea, was to do something to get this word out around. And I'd like to say that Debbie called me one day, and she said, Mauice, what are you going to do for your kingdom assignment? And I said, well, I was thinking of recording these messages and getting them out. Well, she says, that's just what I wanted to do too. So we decided we better get together. And so that's what we did. And we thought, well, we don't know too much about the electronics and that part as far as recording this stuff. And we ought to really get somebody else in on it. So we got Chris Ellis, and Alan was also one of them that we invited to a meeting we had, and two other people, and Brian and Crystal, yeah, and Tom came through, of course, and we decided that we needed them there because they'd already told us that they was interested in making a ministry of getting this word out. And so everything fell into place quite well, we thought. And so we decided what we was going to do and what we was going to get for equipment. And then Chris was going to look into it for us and see what he could do. And Deb, she's got some things also to tell you what she's doing. And everything is coming together. We've got one more piece of equipment to get to duplicate these messages. So that Brian and Chris can get this stuff out. So we're looking forward to be able to do that soon. I think maybe another week or two we'll have everything we need. So that's our goal, is to get this word out and get it to different places. There's all kinds of opportunities, as you probably, some of you know, and probably there's a lot of them that I haven't thought of, but of course the the elderly housing, for instance, there's people there that I'm sure would like to hear these messages, and we're going to have the means of getting this to them, not only the message but something to play it on. And there's nursing homes, there's individuals that around town that shut-ins or can't get out. There's people sometimes that you want to witness to, and sometimes Tom will have a message, and I'll say to myself, boy, would I like to have such and such hear that person hear it. And you know, if you had the means to do it, you could take it to them and say, would you please listen to this when you get a chance. And there's all kinds of outreach, I believe, that's available for this. And with that, I'll just stop there, and I'm sure Debbie has something to say. But that's what we were going to do with the money.
I was kind of in the same boat as Pam when this all started. I was kind of sitting there, and I'm like, you know, I really don't need one more thing to do. But if you want me to go up, I will go up, because I want to support what the church is doing. So I waited and I watched, and I waited and I watched, and there was quite a little pause. And so I came up, not having a clue what the Lord would have me do. And I said, okay, now I've got to plan this out, and I've got to have this all organized so that I can get it all done in the time I have to have it done, because I'm a planner. So I did. I went home and I thought, I'm going to make a ministry where I will, my first initial thought was going to make loaves of bread and put verses with them about Jesus being the bread of life, and bring it and distribute it throughout the neighborhood and reach neighbors for Christ. Well, it just didn't, not pardon the pun, but it didn't pan out. And, and so it's just like the Lord laid it on my heart. I really don't want you doing this. Somebody else already doing cookie ministry, you know, participate in that, but that's not where I want you. So I'm driving home one day, and I thought, you know, $100 is not enough to do the tape ministry, Lord. You know, it just isn't enough. And then Morris came right to my mind. And it's like, okay, call Morris and find out what he's doing. So I call up Morris, and I'm on my cell phone, and I'm like, Morris, I said, well, I was thinking about this kingdom assignment, and I wanted to make sure it's really what the Lord wanted us to do together, so I didn't tell him what I was thinking. I said, do you mind sharing with me what you're going to do? Which, it's really kind of funny that Morris didn't say, why do you want to know, but he didn't. He just said, well, you know, I've had a heart for the elderly and a heart for getting this tape ministry out there and reaching people. And I said, oh, my stinking word, Morris. I think that's what I said. And I said, that's exactly what I want to do. I said, and can we do it together? And Morris said, sure. And so we had a couple meetings, got the right people there, and Morris wants to buy the duplicate CDs. I'm going to pick up the CD players. Brian and Crystal have already found out the name of the person who owns most of the elderly housing. And we want to take inexpensive, hopefully not tempting CD players and put them in these elderly housing complexes and send a CD, probably a week later than it's preached, but to these people so that when people go in there and do their wash in their wash houses, that they can listen to the word. You know, hopefully some of them will come to know the Lord.